my goal is that we're going to make an excavation explosive level. So we're going to remove a bunch of blockers to get to some jelly. So once we get the results in from the polls, we are going to get started. So please vote if you haven't already.
Yeah, and I saw a question why you can't see level 10K in your app. It's that we haven't released it yet. So it will be in August, middle of August for Windows players, more towards end of August for mobile players. So you'll have to be patient. This is just a preview and a sneak peek. So that's why it's first time we're showing this to everyone.
Yes, you guys are the first 10 previewers. No one else has seen this yet. So I also saw a question about how the droppers work, and I am going to assume that you mean the candy cannons, these things up here that drop down things. You are most likely going to find out while we're building this level exactly how they work. I will explain everything as we go, so maybe you'll get some new insight into how things work. Oh, no, this is impossible.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. How do we have we have over 400 people here and we still have a tie for what shape we should use? I guess this means that it's up to flip a coin. I think it's up to let's ask Jamie. What's Jamie? You should decide.
Let's go with square.
We'll go with square. We already have a square here. So we should go with the square. The starting blocker should be frosting, and the answer to the color poll is breaking my heart because you guys don't want to include yellow, and yellow is my favorite color. Okay, I guess I can make one level without the color yellow. So maybe a lot of you don't know that since level 9,000 and forward, we actually do mix up the colors. They used to only come in a certain order. So all levels that had 4 colors excluded red and yellow. But now we can pick exactly however we want. So, but let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is put some candy into these, right? So that they can spit out some candy for us. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some jelly onto the board, 2-layer jelly because it's at hard level, right? And since yellow is already ticked off, we don't have that included. And we are going to start off with frosting. Frosting is always a good blocker to use. It is a trusty blocker.
I think it's one of our most used blockers overall.
Absolutely.
Introduced so early in the game. It's probably the blocker that is in most levels.
Yeah. I also would like to say, feel free to answer any questions that I ask in chat, and I'll just pick an answer. We should also include some kind of explosive elements. So maybe we should use some bubble pops, or we should use a lot of special spawners. I like to use them in all levels. So please feel free to let me know what your favorite explosive element is. What you would like to use.
I have already bubble pops mentioning. It is a lovely feature. We actually took it from Candy Crush Friends, as many of maybe you know that it was first introduced there, and we thought it was such a good feature that we decided to lift it into the candy as well because it's amazing.
I am seeing a lot of bubble pops in chat. I'm just gonna go with that because it is my favorite too. Gonna start with some frosting. We might change this later, who knows? Oh, 5 layers seems a bit excessive. We'll just smack some frosting down. This is sometimes what it looks like when we make levels. Sometimes we just try things out and then we change our minds. so we are going to...
QA level is an old thing. We don't really use it anymore. So it was a way for us. We have stuff in our editor that is outdated, that is not used anymore. 6552 is one of the hardest one. It does go up and down, but we looked up what we saw. It's one of the hardest. I can't say if it's the hardest, but it's one of them. But it is a nightmarishly hard level. It should be marked as that one, at least.
Yeah, some of these candies you haven't seen before. That is both because some stuff in the editor is, I don't know, some stuff we don't really use well anymore. We haven't seen this guy in a long while. Unless you're playing some of the lower levels, because then they are still there sometimes. And these guys are still here, even though they're not really used. But there is a lot of fun things in this editor.
Yeah, Samantha is in the editor as well.
Of course, we have Samantha in the editor. Samantha is always with us.
Yeah.
And
we also have features in the editor that is currently under development. So some of the things you may see that either you haven't maybe reached yet, and I will not point it out, but we have a feature that we're currently working on that is not released yet, that you can see a sneak peek from. So
yeah. Let's see it. Does anyone have any other suggestions for things that we should include in our level? Right now we have some frosting, we have some bubble pop. Does anyone have any other? Oh, include the Candy Cobra. Ooh, I actually haven't even started working with the Candy Cobra yet, but we know it's on its way. The community helped name the Candy Cobra as well. I was absolutely team Anaconda. So
we have bombs, we have cake, we have a lot of things.
Oh, I'm not putting the cake in here. It's my least favorite.
So we have the bobbers.
A coconut wheel I'm seeing. Chocolate, fish bobbers.
I mean, we could combine like fish bobber and Samantha, because then you can jump next to her.
I'm seeing some. Let's add some coconut wheels. I feel like the coconut wheels are underrated. We should absolutely use them more than we do.
Yeah. They're a part of 10,000 at least.
They are. Yeah,
I don't know if we just released new levels today. I'm not sure if anyone has managed to play through all of the levels yet.
Yeah, maybe we should add some locks. So considering that maybe we need some marmalade on these so you can't access them right away. Add fish. Why not? Maybe we should add some. Let's see. Open the special candies menu and the blocker settings menu. I think it's a good opportunity to show off how the Bom Bom Blitz works. If we want to put some fish in it. Let's put 3 fish in, and let's place them maybe down here and here. And we will...
All pink. That's true. It's currently just picking all the pink things.
Yes, that's what I do. I think one fish is a bit too lame. We'll add some more fish into these.
Yeah. I think I read that many people hate licorice. We try to find a good balance and not overusing the licorice in all the levels.
You don't want me to just fill the board with licorice? No? But this is a really, really great start. I think maybe we should add some order locks or something to these little fishies.
So the magic mixer always spawns at the same rate. It can pause if you hit it, the spawn rating, but then we can just decide amount, how many of a certain it should pick out or spew out.
Let's put maybe 50 on these, and we'll put 30 on this one. There we go. We have some fun stuff going on there. Does anyone have any other 4-layer sugar coat? Is that possible? It is not possible to put 4-layer sugar coat. It's a 3-layered blocker.
It's always like anytime we have a locker or something on top of some that we can place on top of other elements, it's super hard for the artist to find like adding more than 3 layers. Like we have the Moloch, it has 5 layers, but as you know, it can be hard to distinguish the layers from it. So that's why we nowadays keep it to 3 layers most of the time. As you know, that both the sugar crystal candies and sugar coats have 3 layers.
Tan squared. These ones, these are they used to be the waffles. They are now called toffee swirls. I saw a question. Someone wants flying saucers. Yes, I'm seeing. Okay, we love the UFOs. Let's add one. Where shall we put it? Who knows? This will be a very fun level. We don't use the pre-placed boosters enough. Does anyone know where we should place it?
At the bottom center. We could have it as an end thing, like when you dig through into the middle, then I can try to place the wrap candies in the corners for you or something.
I think we should remove this bubble pop then. This will be the... Yes, we love some flying saucers. I think we should also cover it. It's a marmalade. It looks neater if you just make everything squares, right? This looks great. I think that we might be, let's see if we're gonna add some, maybe we need to add some more layers of blockers down here.
Yeah, if we're going to make a hard level,
I think we need some.
The UFO is powerful.
It is powerful. Maybe we'll actually put these, and we'll put some even more blockers. We like blockers. I love frosting. It makes everything so pretty. But I do think that we can maybe start to test this level now. Let's see how it goes. What do you guys think?
Like,
should get it up here. Can everyone see what we're doing? Keeping everyone in the loop. Right now, this level is set to 35 moves, which is the base when we create a new level. When we create hard levels to start with, they tend to go out with somewhere between 30 to 35 moves. And then we adjust afterwards to make sure that they are a proper challenge for everyone.
I mean, you guys play the game so well. It's super hard for us. Like, we try to make levels hard. It's hard for us to beat them. And then we release them for you guys and you just smash through everything we give you. So you had so much better playing the game than us. Sometimes we just try our best.
Yeah. No backseat gaming now, by the way. I'm not that good at playing. I just make levels. I'm very bad at playing them.
Saw a question about like how we mark hard levels. Like when we plan the episodes, we plan out. We try to plan. we try to plan a curve of a good mix of hard levels and easy levels. But it's technically a script that marks out the levels afterwards. So we don't manually mark them. It's all depending on the data, like what we gathered from you guys. So
yeah, and sometimes, especially at the end of content, the algorithm doesn't always keep up with us changing levels. So a level might have been easy and now it's a bit harder, but it doesn't have time to update because we we are faster than the than the algorithm.
Yeah.
I have to concentrate now. Make sure I can win.
We can't control the fishes. There are behaviors behind it. But as you may know, in some game modes, the fish is a bit more stupid and frustrating. We try to have it in jelly levels more often because it does prioritize the jelly and try to aim for like eating the jelly, but we can't control it.
There we go. That's how far I got. I think that it is quite good in difficulty. We might need to make it a little bit easier so that we can complete it now, and then we'll let someone who's better than me eventually test it. We'll see if we have to make it harder again. But I think that we need to make the level a little bit easier. So we're going to launch a little poll for everyone, and you guys can decide how we're going to make this level easier. Yes. So if we could decrease some layers, we could also add some special spawners in. That would mean that we can add in up here some striped candies or some wrapped candies that will spawn in. That's what we usually do. It's a very good way to help make the level more explosive as well. More explosive blockers, we could add in some more bubble pop somewhere. And special candies on the board, we could actually add in some striped candies pre-placed on the board. It all depends on what you guys want to do. You feel free to vote whatever you want.
Yeah, I saw someone mention that there are two different fishes. It is true. There is technically two different behaviors between the fish that we can spawn and the fish that is spawning from the bobbers. So it's correct. It makes it even harder to design and work around as well to create levels. And I can imagine it's making it hard for you guys to know like how to use it.
I see a lot of people that would have liked to add the frog onto this level. I'm just gonna say right now, adding Samantha the frog to hard levels is one of the hardest things we can do because she is so overpowered that she just takes down everything. So when she's included in a hard level, there's a lot of work behind that to balance that to be right, and we don't really have that amount of time today. Especially if you include her in levels with the waffles in them or the toffee swirls. Let's see if we can get some results in. Have they ended up behind something here? There we go. Special candies on the board. Okay, we can add some special candies on the board. We already have some of these fancy special candies. And I also saw someone complain that I didn't use the UFO. I never said I was good at playing, okay? I never said that. You guys might have been able to finish this level, but I don't pay attention that much. I just swipe. I make levels. I don't play them. Maybe we can add some, do you guys want to add some wrapped candies maybe, or some pre-placed fish? See.
Wrapped candy. Oh, maybe both.
Maybe both. Let's do both. How about that? We can do some wrapped candies up here. We like wrapped candies. And then we can add in some pre-placed fish. And they can go out here maybe. That sounds fun. And maybe one in the middle too. I think that looks very good. Let's see how the level feels now, if we'll get any closer to completing it.
We can mention that like we do play the levels, like even if we say we're not as good at the game as you guys are, we do play the levels all like multiple times when creating them. Like it's the easiest way. You tweak the level, you do some changes, then you play it and test it. But as we create quite a lot, as you know, we are soon on 10,000. We create a lot of levels, and we don't know which number this level will be yet. We'll see. But what we try to do, we play test the level. We try to get as good understanding as possible, but we have had times when we have managed to win a level and then we release it to you guys and it's super hard, or we have a super hard time finishing it and then it's super easy. So because we just limited how many times we can play test it, and then you have all of you guys, there's 1,000 of people playing, we get much better view of what is it actually performing and how it's actually behaving.
I'm not getting any luck today. There we go.
Maybe you need to add some bubble pops earlier in the game.
Yeah, I think that I might need to add in some earlier ones. But now stuff are happening. We're in it now.
Conveyor belts could help as well to add. We do that is actually something that you do sometimes to a level, especially when it's a 5-color level like this one, where it can be a bit stiff with 5 colors. Adding conveyor belts, usually it's a way for us to create automatic matches as well, and just giving you, like, sometimes it can be very frustrating because you see a move that you want to do, but also many times it can be useful for you. So we do add conveyor belts just to give them level a bit more life and more things that happens in a small way that is not too overpowering.
Yeah. But now the level felt pretty good. I have a little bit left at the bottom. I might have needed maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 more moves to complete it. So this is a pretty good difficulty to set it out, because I am one of the worst Candy Crush players on the team. If we hand this over to someone else on the team that is actually good at playing, they will be able to complete this. So I am going to save this, and then we are going to put it onto the queue of being rolled out into the game, because this looks great. Thank you, guys. All right, well, I will make sure that this level gets saved, even though it doesn't want to save right now. And what level this will be, I will make sure that that reaches the community, because I cannot tell right now what level this will be. It will be sometime after 10,000, probably somewhere in the 10,300s, maybe, if I have to guess. So thank you guys for creating a level with me. That has been great. And we're going to start moving on to answering some questions.
Thank you so much. That was so interesting. Every time I see a level being designed, I can't believe the amount of details, and, you know, like, I can't begin to imagine how difficult it is to do, but it's fascinating to watch. We have so many questions for you guys. Thank you for submitting all your questions. So let's dive right in. First question for Therese. How long does it take you to design a level? How many days?
Oh, it all depends on the level, but it actually doesn't. It depends on what you count. Like the first iteration, it usually we can create a level, or I can create like 2 levels a day. But then it's a lot of other things happening. So it's just for the first iteration that will take maybe 2 levels per day. Then we have testing and validations from other level designers in the team. So if you add everything up and the iterations that we do when it's live as well, I would say it will take like a day to create 1 level in the hours that we spend put into it. But the first version, usually 2 levels a day, we usually aim at.
Of course, and then I imagine, like you said, you've got all the testing and quality assurance, so all of that.
And after that, a lot of the times we improve on the levels as well after that. So some more time gets put into it, and then
nice.
After release, a little bit more time.
Oh, and how do you avoid duplicated levels? This is interesting because obviously there's lots of people designing, right? So how do you make sure that you don't create two of the same?
That's
I
a
mean,
very good question. When I started out, I was very scared that I was going to duplicate already existing levels. But we are a pretty different group of people. We all have very different creative minds, and at least internally, we can often see who has made every single level when we look at them, because Tess usually makes levels that looks like this, and I usually make levels that look a different way. And so we have very different creative minds, and some levels are very similar if you look at over 10,000 levels, but I don't think that we have accidentally created any levels that are 100% exactly the same, unless the system like, so if in case the system accidentally duplicates levels, because that has happened.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We've got some eagle-eyed players, so I'm pretty sure they will let us know if that happens.
it has happened once that one does, because we have a script that does check like if a level is exactly the same, but then it's like all the layers and everything needs to be exactly the same. And we had once that there was a level that looked exactly the same, but there were different moves, so the script didn't notice it, but the players noticed it, so we quickly changed it. So
yeah.
we are relying on you guys a lot to just help us out, because we have things in the background to help us, but it doesn't catch everything.
Yeah,
But
and that's why it's so important to get involved and give us your feedback, and get on the community as well. I believe that there's a link going in the chat soon. But yeah, that's the place where you can give us all your feedback. And if you spot two of the same, let us know. Therese, one for you. Who designs the characters? Is it you guys, or is it someone like, is there a separate job title for designing characters?
so we have game artists that designs the characters, and we have a few game artists in our team that has created a few of the characters. But then we have other teams in Canada as well. We have a art hub that is only focusing on art as well. So, but that's not level designers, but game artists.
Okay, that makes
Which is
sense.
great.
Yeah.
I can't draw. Don't look at me.
It's my sister is the one that draws, but she works for Pet and not Candy. So, but she's an artist there instead. So
I see. Okay.
she does the art. She does help with some of the animals there.
Oh, that's really nice. Cool. Are there any plans to add a search box to jump to like lower levels, higher levels? Are we introducing anything like that anytime soon?
I can't say yes or no yet. I know it's a request and that many has. So we'll see. I can't say that if it's going to happen or not. I can understand, especially now when 10,000, reaching that soon. But there have been definitely discussions around in the different Candy teams. In our team, currently nothing yet. But as I mentioned, there's so many other things. Like, there are many people working in Candy, probably more people than you imagine. So it's hard for us designers to keep in track on everything that people are discussing and looking into. There's a lot of things that we try to find a good way to implement it, but we never really get it right, and therefore it never reaches you guys. But I hope there is definitely like people we have been talking about it.
Yeah,
and we know that you guys are requesting it a lot as well.
That's right. There's always ideas and features being tested, but the more you guys ask for it, the more likely it is that you will see it. So get involved in the community. Right, let's have a look. Are many levels tweaked after release? I think we answered actually this one earlier. And if so, how often are levels tweaked and what kind of reasons are there to tweak them? Therese, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, it varies from level to level. So a level for for the levels that we just recently released, we try to get them to the right difficulty. So it's usually either it's too easy or too hard. And depending on the players, that varies as well. So sometimes we have a little bit of players that perform, like are playing really well. So then it seems that the level is quite easy, and then we tweak it, and then other people go through and it increases too much, and then we have to tweak it again. So we're always trying to find a good. So in the beginning of the level gets tweaked multiple times potentially, until we get it to the difficulty that we're aiming for. But then we have levels that have been live for a long time, and then there can be other reasons why it gets tweaked. Like mentioned, we removed the score levels, so we removed all those levels were updated because it was an outdated game mode. So then we added a lot of new levels because of that, and that's was the biggest reason why those were tweaked.
Right, and now that you mention it, I need to ask this. What do you mean by game mode? Not everybody knows that. So Saga, do you want to explain maybe?
Absolutely. Game mode is what your objective of the level is. So jelly is a game mode. And in a jelly level, you aim to clear all the jelly off the board. And then we have, we call them drop-down levels. You guys usually call them ingredient levels, where you have either the hazelnut or the cherry that has to go into the collector. And we also have the order mode, where you have to collect a certain amount of blockers or colors or anything else that can be on the board. And we also have the Rainbow Rapids game mode that is introduced a bit later in the game, where you have to clear a path for the rainbow to get to the mold. So those are the different game modes, and we can also combine the different game modes. So the level that we just made is a jelly level, so it uses the game mode jelly.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that. I actually didn't know that was called game mode. So yeah, it's good to know. Right, question about time. How long does it take to finish a Candy Crush level on average? Actually, no, sorry. What is the average time to finish Candy Crush? I'm not sure if this refers to the level of the whole game, but...
Oh, I actually don't know that on top of my head.
Probably a long time to play
Yeah.
all the levels and complete all of the levels.
Yeah, I bet it's really
long time.
subjective, doesn't it? I find I'm playing myself. Sometimes I can get stuck for months on a level and then just win maybe 50 in one go. It really depends. It's quite unpredictable. Cool. Can we have the version where friends can merge to win levels? I think this is a feature request. It might be. Do we have any plans for that, to sort of like collaborative play to win levels?
I mean, as mentioned before, I'm not sure if other teams are looking into it, but we do look at other candy games and other games within King to see like if there's a feature is performing really well, like how can we candify it? That's usually the question, like can we candify it, and can we make it work in Candy as well? So we do take a lot of inspiration from the other games, and sometimes we try bigger things in Friends and so on, but then we try to, of course, if it's good enough, we'll take it to Candy as well.
Cool. And another one for you, Therese, actually, and this is super interesting because I want to know the answer. Have you made the fish dumber? They do not always attack the squares that you need to finish the level. That's so true.
Well,
what happened to the fish?
I can't say that we have. I don't think we have made it dumber. I don't think it's ever been super smart. I know that other candy games has, like, if you look at Friends, for instance, which is the newest candy franchise game that we have, those fishes are much smarter. So if you play those, it's easy like to see how dumb the fish is in Candy. But I know in Friends, when they were like just launched it, they actually made the fish dumber. We haven't, what I know of, we haven't made a fish dumber. We have tried different fishes in some A/B tests, but that was many years ago. There was we had a long time ago a test where you could actually create fishes in the board, but yeah, we had to, that was just short-lived.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a matter of luck, I guess, what happens with the fish.
Yeah.
Saga, one for you. Can you get the developers to make the colors more distinguished under the frosting icing? I'm colorblind and can't always see the possible matches under the frost. That's a good one.
That is absolutely a good question. We are always looking into ways of making the game more accessible. And we do snatch up feedback like this from the community and from when people send in player support requests and stuff like that. Us as level designers can't really do much about what the game looks like, but we have seen a lot of talk about, different ways to improve visibility and colorblind stuff. We have made changes to things like the keys, and like the candies themselves obviously have different shapes, and these shapes can also be found again on the keys to the locks and things like that. But things like the fish they kind of just look the same, and if you're colorblind, is a bit unfortunate. But we know that a lot of these teams that look at art and stuff and how things are presented are always looking into new ways to improving. So sharing all of that feedback in the community, usually the community manager snatches that up and makes sure that it gets to the right person as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's what make Candy Crush and all our games actually really great. There's always so accessible, and I'm always amazed how we try and make sure that absolutely everybody can play without any issues. Thanks for that. We've got, this is not a question, it's more of a tip. Why not sign levels with the name of the person who designed them? I think that's a good idea, guys. I think we should do it.
Oh, we can see it in our level manager, where we, like the library, we have all the levels. We can see who designed it or did the first iteration, and then we can see also who tweaked it as well. But maybe we should.
Maybe I'm a bit concerned that all of the players will be like, who is Marcus? I don't know, but he made this level.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
In a very long time ago, we did. You could see the names that we had put on levels, and we didn't have a name standard, so we just made up a bunch of names. So there was a lot of discussions around okay, because of this name of this level, we guess it's Seb who has done it, and so on. But it was fun for us to see the guesses. But yeah, other than that. But it's a bunch of people that have made it, so it will be, and some things has changed as well. So the super old levels have just the same creator, because we have moved libraries as well. So it's not as fun there, because you can't really see the original designer.
Of course. All right, I think we're out of time. We've actually run over a little bit, so it's a wrap. Thank you so much for your presentation and the level design experience. The Reason Saga was really, really nice to watch. And thank you all for attending. It was lovely to read all your comments and suggestions and questions. So thanks again for joining us. And I wish you a very good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. See you next time.
Thank you so much for coming.